Hi everyone! So now we're going to look at how we can use the bookmark to read another source from our Cherokee removal investigation. Just a reminder that our central question for this investigation is, what is an important cause of the Trail of Tears that people should know about today? So the first thing I'm going to do is read the headnote and attribution and circle any information that tells me who said, drew, or wrote this, when and where was it said, drawn, or written, what type of source is this, why was it said, drawn, or written, or for whom? So I'm going to start with the attribution. Chief Justice John Marshall's written majority opinion, modified, Worcester v. State of Georgia, 1832. So I'm going to circle Chief Justice John Marshall as who said or wrote this. And I'm going to make a note just to myself that Chief Justice means he's a member of the Supreme Court. I'm going to circle written majority opinion as the type of text, and I'm going to make a note to myself that an opinion in this case is the decision of the court. I'm going to circle Worcester versus the State of Georgia for why it was written, because I know there's a court case against Georgia. And lastly, I'm going to circle 1832, and I'm going to make a note to myself from my timeline that this is before the Trail of Tears. Take a minute now and do the same thing with the headnote, circling any information that helps you answer one of these questions. Next, as I read the source, I'm going to underline anything that helps me answer a question I've identified as good for reading this source. So for this one, I'm going to read what parts of the source seem most important for understanding it and why. From the beginning of our government, Congress has passed acts to regulate trade and interaction with the Indians. These acts treat them as nations, respect their rights, and manifest a firm purpose to afford that protection which treaties stipulate. So I'm just going to make a note to myself that it's important to understand that the government has made acts to treat the Indians as nations and respect their rights. Take a minute now and read the next two paragraphs and underline any information that helps you think about what part of the source seemed most important for understanding it. Next, answer the question, how does this ruling by the Supreme Court help you understand the causes of the Trail of Tears? Now I'm going to use the back of my bookmark to help me think about how reliable this source is for understanding the causes of the Trail of Tears. So first, I'm going to start with, what is the point of view of the person who created this? So the Supreme Court uses the Constitution to try to make their decisions as fair as possible. So they base their point of view on the Constitution. Take a minute now, using the back of your bookmark, and see if you can find another way that a Supreme Court ruling is a reliable source. Next, I'm going to look for a way this source might be unreliable. And I'm going to choose whose voices or perspectives are not represented here. So the Supreme Court decisions have to be enforced by the state. And from this document, I don't know if Georgia is going to enforce the decision. Because it's telling them that they have to respect the Cherokee Nation as a distinct community and that they cannot go onto their land. Take a minute now, using the back of your bookmark, and see if you can identify another way this source might be unreliable. Last, I'm going to box the parts of the source that help me think about the central question. The central question is, what is an important cause of the Trail of Tears that people should know about today? And with this source, it's kind of tricky, because the Supreme Court saying that Georgia cannot remove the Cherokee shouldn't be a cause of the Trail of Tears. It should be a reason it didn't happen. But we know it did, so we have to look for why that might be. So I'm going to box this part. Citizens of Georgia have no right to enter, but with the permission of the Cherokees. I'm going to use this as evidence that while they don't have a right to enter, the citizens of Georgia did anyway, and therefore they were violating the rights of Cherokee, and that's going to be one of the causes of the Trail of Tears. See if you can find another way this source helps you think about the central question.